Hello everyone, welcome back to Glitz and Glitter. So I have a clock mold out today. I've got these little ornaments and these pine cones, and I thought I would throw them together in something, and the only deep thing that I have that'll look good is a clock mold. So we're gonna do a clock for Christmas. I'm trying to get in as many Christmas videos as I can. I wasted so much time on vacation, so I didn't get many in, so now I'm cramming them in at the last minute. So today we're going to layer this so it'll look kind of 3D. And not all of these are bulbs. These are just like glitter, I don't know, circles. And then I have a few bulbs. And then I have some glitter pine cones and some normal ones. So I thought layering this together might look really cute. And I don't normally get to use my gold clock faces. I'm always using my silver ones, so it's good that I can use a gold one today. So we're gonna do this in layers. I'm going to use my fast cure, and I'm gonna see if I can get this done in one evening. Now granted, it is 5 o'clock in the evening right now. I think what I'm gonna do like 4 ounces at a time, because I know that these are going to float. So I'm gonna pour like 4 ounces, put everything in. I'm gonna use the heat mat and cure it. I'm gonna do like 15 minutes on low. And then when it's tacky, I'll put the next layer in. So if we could keep it tacky all night, for every layer, you shouldn't see a line. I've not gotten lines on my clocks doing it that way yet. Hopefully today is not the first day. So I'm gonna use fast cure resin because that will cure fast. And we're gonna layer this up, and let me see how quickly we can get this done. Now you guys know I'm always up late, so 5 o'clock starting is kind of an early starting time for me. So let me grab some resin and we're gonna start layering. I have to say a huge shout out to Denise. Denise, you know who you are. I'm not going to say your last name. She sent me a huge box of Happy Mail. I forgot to mention. I videoed everything. It's on my counter. And this actually came out of the box. So I think I'm going to incorporate these into the clock. So after this clip, while I start curing it, stick around and you can see everything that she sent me. Such beautiful stuff she sent me. So thank you so much, Denise, for thinking of me. She said she's not using it as much as she wants to, so she knew that I would. And I will definitely put that stuff to good use. So thank you so much. And I think 4 ounces is what I usually do. I can't remember, and I didn't go back and watch the other video. I don't take notes, so I'm guessing. And again, this is the 4-hour fast cure because I'm hoping that I can get this done in one day. I usually can do a clock pretty quickly because I'm watching it so adamantly so it doesn't cure all the way through because I don't want a line on the side. Now I have bubbles in there, and I'm sure these things are going to make bubbles too, but maybe I will let those rise first. Let me see, let me grab a little dotting tool or something. Get these up off the bottom, which was going to be my front. I scraped those right in there. It was completely bubble free when I took it out of the vacuum chamber. And I'm sure these are all, especially the pine cones, are going to make bubbles. But I'm not gonna, I don't want extras if I can help it. I think I got most of them off. I'll just keep spraying the top for a minute here. And then I'm just gonna start placing everything. Now I think like these thick ones, of course, need to go in. You know what, you guys? I'm not going to do this yet. I'm going to cure this because these are heavy and I don't want them poking through. So maybe I'll just rub all that resin all over this one and it might stop some bubbles later. Since I've already started it. It might or might not, I don't know. So that's what I'm gonna do. I am going to just set this on the silicone so I can get it off. I'm going to cure this one until it's not cured through, but tacky. So I'm gonna try to put it on a timer. Now there's glitter in here. There's going to be glitter in here from all this stuff, so I'm not too concerned about that. So that will give it time to degas for a few minutes too. So let me get this one almost cured and then I'll start layering. It's been 40 minutes. I think 20-minute mark. I need to start mixing because I need 5 minutes to mix, 5 minutes in the vacuum chamber. So this is still tacky. So I think I'm at the 40-minute mark instead of the 30-minute mark. But it'll be fine. So I had the heat mat on low and I was checking it all the time. So I'm gonna see how this layer does, because I don't know, being that we're going through 2 layers, if it's gonna change or not. So if you try this, just monitor it. And by the tackiness, by like the string that's coming off of your tool, whatever you're using to check your resin. And then I realized I don't have any resin mixed up. And then it was almost too late, but it looks good. It'll be fine, I'm sure. All right, now I'm gonna start placing everything. So now it won't go through. It's just going to, even if it did embed itself when this heats back up, because I did shut it off, it's not gonna go all the way through the 4 ounces. So let's just get everything placed where we want. I'm gonna try to keep the seams from being seen, I guess. You know what, like the seam is here on the side, so I'm gonna place it like from side to side. That is going to I don't know how crowded I'm gonna make it, because like I want to see the layers of it. So I'm just winging this. I have no plan. I never ever have a plan. All I know is the overall effect I'm going for. And then I'm going to sprinkle some of these beads in, because these will definitely look 3-dimensional if I put some on every layer, if I don't forget. And these are little different sizes, so they're not all the same size, which is super cool. And I don't know what's going to happen when I turn the heat mat on. Hopefully some of this doesn't go all the way through. So I could see that it should be stopping at the first layer, being that it was almost completely cured. Okay. Now I will time it again, because it lowers the viscosity before it raises it. So it's going to get all watery really quick, and then it's going to start heating up and bonding, curing. So as it lowers the viscosity, I'm going to be checking all these items that they're not moving around too much. All right, back on low. So I don't think the whole timing issue thing is gonna work because this was done in 15 minutes. I walked away to start dinner, come back, my stuff moved, it's in place, it's not moving. So I guess I'm just gonna have to keep an eye on it. So I mixed up 8 ounces this time because I need it much deeper so the next layer will stick to it. So that's what I'm gonna do. And it doesn't matter that it moved. I just, I like to control everything. If it's gonna move without me, I won't be happy, but it is what it is. So I'm going to wait till after dinner this time before I turn the heat mat on because the layer underneath is warm still. And that definitely sped up the process. But I needed more so I can have the next layer stick to this layer, if that makes sense. I needed it high enough, I guess I should say. And maybe leaving it will help some bubbles come out too, although the bottom layer is warm, so it's probably gonna cure pretty fast. I can always switch over to epoxy. You don't have to use the same resin for every layer. A lot of times in a lot of projects I use multiple different resins depending on what layer and what I need it to do. So you could definitely use different ones. All right, now I'm just gonna spray it. Hopefully those bubbles will rise that I just created. And I'm gonna go ahead and start placing a few more things. I'm gonna try to not do anything over there, just because you're not gonna see it because the clock face will be there. And let's do a regular pine cone. And the rest is going to be, whoops, I wanted to do that. I just don't want it to look like it's struggling or like crammed in here. But I'm trying to keep an eye out because the back, let me grab a ruler. See, that is barely under. And that one's gonna be barely under too. So that's my last layer of these types. Otherwise, I will have to back coat, and I really don't want to do that. And let's see, we'll do a green and a gold, red, and a red. And then I'm going to grab some more of these little balls. And I'll probably only be able to do some of the glitter pieces on the last back layer. Because the other bulbs are not going to fit underneath anymore. See how they float? That's why I'm doing layers, because they pop right up. In fact, maybe I'll put something on this to hold them down. That one's floating. So let me finish this and then I will figure out what to do to hold these down. And wait for this one to cure. So this is definitely a one-day project if you're using fast cure and a heat mat. No problem. Maybe I'll put some other. I wonder if this is going to be my last layer. I think I'm going to finish putting the balls in here because I feel like it's my last layer. Then I could just fill it up with resin on the next layer and be done. So, yeah, change of plans here. because I don't have a whole lot of room left. And I want it to look three-dimensional. So I'm just gonna stuff it. Stuff it full. Let me see, do I want another pine cone? I don't think you're gonna see another pine cone. This, we're gonna turn. What do we got here? As long as it stays underneath that lip, I'm good. So maybe I'm gonna let it get tacky all by itself right now. Before I turn the heat mat on. I'm gonna flip these so maybe I could avoid some bubbles. I don't know. I don't use pine cones very often, so I don't know what to expect other than bubbles. So let's see. I just hope I'm not stuffing it too much. And if you're gonna even see all the stuffiness. They're still okay as far as height wise. That one is not. And I think I'm gonna sprinkle a few more sprinkles in. And then I think after this layer, all I'm gonna need is clear probably. I'm just gonna put them in. I have them, I'm just gonna put them in. What's the worst that can happen? I just want them to stay underneath. At least the back will be pretty, if nothing else. Will that one fit? Yeah. So maybe I actually will put a pine cone there because the back is going to be, that's too high. Yes, that's too high. Sorry, pine cone. Do I have a thinner one? Yep, right there. So we're just going to fill it because I want the back to be just as pretty as the front. I'm winging it, guys. I'm winging it. Is that one underneath? Nope. I think I will put something like heavy, not really heavy, but weighty right there, because those are the only things I think that would give me a problem. All right, I'm just gonna let this sit for a while before I turn the heat mat on, and then, I don't know, maybe 8 or 10 more ounces and this might be done. So I will tell you, after the first layer, you don't need a heat mat because all the layers underneath here are hot and they're curing by themselves, so they are the heat mat. Definitely don't need a heat mat. So I mixed up 10 more ounces and I wasn't thinking, I wanted to do my regular epoxy resin, and just from habit of today, I grabbed my 4-hour fast cure. So it could flash cure because I'm pouring it so thick. When you're pouring it an inch, you really should be using your epoxy. for the Let's Resin brand. I don't know about your brand, but that's also part of the reason it's so hot underneath all these layers, is because I'm using 4-hour fast cure much thicker than I should be. So yeah, then there's that. I don't know how much I need, but I don't want to pour more than the 10, excuse me, because of exactly what I said. It's getting too thick. I don't need any smoking going on. And I should have used my epoxy for the last layer. This might actually fill it. Yeah, I think it will if I scrape. It's just underneath. And it is 7:30, so I'm in this 2.5 hours. And that one's just gonna be barely sticking out, and so is that one. Shoot, so is that one. I did not want that to happen, and I really didn't want to do a back coat. So hopefully, let's see here. I'm hoping it's going to let some bubbles escape. I put it through the vacuum chamber, but I had it too deep in the container. That's why I split it into 2 cups, and it was in there for quite a while because I waited too long to split it between the 2 cups. So yeah, I'm doing this entire layer wrong. And the heat from underneath is going to cure this really quickly. So it's not going to allow all these bubbles to escape that I did not get out, because I pulled it out because I was afraid it was going to be in there too long. Trying to get everything out if I can. But this is the back. It's not that big of a deal. I'm pretty sure the front's going to be good, other than like bubbles I trapped from the pine cones and things. So, let me put some of these sprinkles in to take your eye away from any bubbles. And I have resin on my fingers. I wonder if I could just, it's got a flip top sprinkle, kind of like for cupcakes. I should have done that earlier. So yeah, we're gonna hide any bubbles that don't escape with these. These came the exact day I needed them. Thank you so much. Oh goodness, all right. Like I said, it's going to cure pretty fast because it's very, very warm underneath it. And then I'll have to figure out what I'm gonna do here. Well, I'll figure it out, and BRB. We are at the 5-hour mark and we're done. This is cooled down. It's ready to unmold. All the extras are finished. What I ended up doing off camera, I mixed up 3 more ounces and I top coated it. Well, back coated it just to cover all those ones that were sticking up. And they covered all of them, which was amazing. So I sprinkled some of those gold little balls on there And of course it's not deep enough, so they are sticking out. But that's it. I'm done with this one. It's not a big deal. So what I did, it only took 2 ounces on the top, so I had 1 ounce left. And believe it or not, I have never mixed chameleon powder into resin before. I have only ever painted it on the surface of the mold. So I grabbed my grape chameleon powder and I threw it in the extra ounce of resin and poured all these extras, and it's beautiful. I don't know why I've never done that before. So I made a few keychains and some earrings and some pendants. So I'm trying to restock my giveaways. So there's 2 of them. I did make a cross and I top coated everything with UV resin. I just grabbed my marker and went into that indentation that it left. Here's a pair of earrings, a couple of pendants, and I just put charms on them inside the UV. So I put the resin on, dropped the charm on top, and then cured it. So those are done. And then I thought these were really super cute. I had these little 3D flowers, so I put them on the bottoms of those. And here's a cute little set. I think I'm going to put this set, because I think it's so adorable, on eBay. So the rest will be giveaways, but this one, if you want it, I want this to go to somebody who actually wants it and doesn't toss it in the garbage because they didn't ask for it. So I'll throw this on eBay pretty cheap. So if you want this set, that's where it'll be. All right, let's get to the main event and get the clock installed. See what it looks like first. It's domed really well, so there shouldn't be any trimming at all. I think this took a total of 30 or 29 ounces, even with all that stuff in there. So I'm pretty sure it holds 30 ounces of resin. So even with the Christmas bulbs and all the pine cones, it was still at like 28, 29 ounces of resin. Okay, here it is. Looks pretty good. I have a couple bubbles that are like mid-flight, but there are no lines. You cannot see the layers, and that is what I was going for. Even though I waited kind of long on some of them, there are no lines. You could see the 3D effect with all those little golden things, 3D effect with all the things inside. What do you think? I didn't put any crushed crystal in it this time because I thought there was enough glitter going on, but it looks like some resin bubbles cured around some of those glitter balls. They don't look too bad though. They look frosty more than anything. I have a couple of bubbles that were trying to escape mid-cure, and those look kind of neat too. One right here, one right there, coming out of the bulbs themselves. I don't know, I like it. And then the back is pretty too. You can even put something on a Cricut right here if you wanted to. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. I don't really want to cover anything without knowing who this is going to. So I think I won't do that just because I don't know what they would want it to say. Trying to think if I want to do anything else to this before I call it a wrap. I'm trying to put these little clips in these clocks are not easy. There's 2 that show, and then the third one is hiding underneath the cover to the battery. So you have to pop the cover off, and then the third clip goes down in there. It took me forever and somebody telling me what to do before I figured that out. Okay. And then all you do is press it in, and it stays in place until you get it out for the battery. What do you think? I know there's a glare. I'll get you some pictures. I'm wondering if I wanted to go around this edge or not. I don't really want to cover this because of the 3D. I do have one spot right there I need to trim. Little bit of overpour. Thought there was one on this side somewhere. What I think I'll do, at an angle, I'm just gonna go around this whole thing just so there's no sharp anything, and there really won't mess up your resin like that as long as you're at an angle. I'll have to look and see what I have in my room here, if I want to go around this edge or not, or if I'm just going to call it done. Because I don't really want to cover all this that I just put in there. All right, I think that's good. It's not sharp. Oh, I didn't do the bottom edge. Make sure your edges are sanded before you give things away. You do not want anybody slicing. I've sliced my hands open enough times knowing I don't want to do that to somebody else. All right. Let me see if I'm going to come up with anything or if I'm finished. And it's done. Yes, I could not leave it alone. So I took gold and reddish gold and went every other rhinestone and hand placed them on. And then at the last second, I saw this cute little sticker I had. So it makes it look like a little gift. So whoever gets this, if they don't want it, they can just pull that right off. I'm not going to top coat over it or anything. Well, that's it for today, guys. One more Christmas video. I'm going to try to squeeze one more in, maybe two. I don't know. We'll see. But let me get you some final pictures so you don't have to look at the glare and everything. Let me know what you think. What would you have done different? And yeah, that's it. I will see everyone tomorrow. Hope you all have a blessed day. Bye, everyone.